Hi dear friends, welcome to MarielBeadsandBeyond. In the past video we made this bracelet with with peyote with 2 beads. Today we're gonna be working with peyote with 3 beads. So I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. Let's get started. We are going to pick up 1/8 and 2 11/0. I'm gonna use 11/0 in a different color just to make sure there you guys can see what I'm doing, okay? And let me switch this. We are going to bring them down and we are going to leave 6 inches to close our bracelet. We are going to sew through the 8/0. Our thread is exiting from the 8/0. We are going to pick up 1/8. We are going to sew through the next 11/0. Our thread is exiting from the purple. We are going to pick up 1 and we are going to sew through the next 11/0. Our thread is exiting from the lilac. We are picking up a lilac and we are going to sew through the 8/0 where we start our row. And also the tail of our thread is exiting from that bead. Our 3 new beads are the ones that are sticking out. In order to continue, we are going to sew through the first 8 that we added on the previous row. And we are in position to continue. We are exiting from the 8/0. We are going to pick up an 8/0 and we are going to skip the first purple and we are going to sew through the one that we add previously. And you can start bringing your beads up if you want to. You don't have to. Our thread is exiting from the purple bead. We are going to pick up a purple bead and we are going to sew through the lilac. We're skipping the first when we started the base beads and we are sewing through the lilac. And you always gotta pull the thread on the other direction. If you see me pulling it towards this direction, it's because I don't have more space to go that way. Our thread is exiting from a lilac. We are gonna pick up a lilac. This is the one, it's holding the tail. We're gonna skip that one and we are going to sew through the next 8/0. This is what you should have. If you pay attention, the beads that you just add is this one, and this one. So in order to continue, we are going to step up through the previous white that we add. We are exiting from a white bead, which is our 8/0s. We are going to skip the one that is indented and we are going to sew through the one that is sticking out, or if you learn to recognize the 3 that you just add, this, and this, you should be able to just work with those beads. But if it's getting hard, just remember you had to skip one, sew through the next one, and just keep going like that. We are exiting from a purple. We are going to pick up a purple and you can see right away this is indented, this is the one that is sticking out. So we are going to sew through that one. Our thread, it's exiting from a lilac bead. We are going to skip this white and we are going to sew. You see 3 beads. We sewing through the second 8-0. In order to continue, we are going to have to step up through the first white bead or the 8-0. If you look at your work right now, a good way to know if you are doing it right is that you should have a spiral with your beads. Like if you follow all your 8-0s, they're all connected. If you rotate it, it's the same thing with your purple beads and it's the same with your lilac. So they look all aligned and that's how you're supposed to see if you are making any mistake. So once again, it's really easy if you learn to recognize the 3 beads that you just add. So the 3 beads that we just add is this one, this one, and this one. Pick up one and we are going to sew through the purple. So try to keep your 3 beads on top and that way it'll be easier for you. We are exiting from a purple. This is our purple. We are going to skip this one and we are going to sew through the next one. We are going to pick up a lilac. We are exiting from this. As you can see, there's 3 right here. Well, the one that we need to sew is through the one in the center because that's the one in the previous row. In order to continue, we're going to step up through the next white bead. Right now, if you pay attention, the 3 beads that we just add are this, this, and this. So you are going to be adding a bead of the same of the bead that you're exiting from. And we are going to sew to the next bead. If you look, right here is an indented bead, so we are skipping that one. We are coming out of a purple. We are going to grab a purple and sew through the lilac. We are skipping this indented one. We sewing through a lilac. And once you're starting to get more work, it's easier to grab, it's easier to see. Our thread is exiting from a lilac, so we are picking up a lilac. And our thread is exiting from here. We are going to sew through this one. And you are going to continue repeating this step until you get the length that you need for a bracelet. In order to continue, we need to step up through the 8. And right here you can see if we grab at 8-0, you can see that it's gotta go in here. It's really easy to find out which bead you're gonna sew through. We are exiting out of the purple. We are going to skip this one and sew through the next one. It's a really simple stitch. You just need to pay attention to the 3 beads that you're working with, like the 3 new ones that you add. So continue and I'll be right back to show you how to finish your bracelet. Hi friends, I have the length that I need for my bracelet. So we are going to attach the clasp right now. So this is what we have right now. My thread is exiting from this 8/0. I'm going to sew through the next 8/0, the one that is underneath or indented. Now I'm going to sew up through the next one, the one that it'll be like if we will continue, it'll be 1, 2, 3. I'm going to pick up my clasp. We are going to bring it down. Our thread, it's exiting from this side of this bead. We are going to sew through this bead across. So we are going to flip the clasp. We want it to be horizontal like this. So we are going to sew back through the clasp like this. So in this way, we have one thread exiting from this side of the bead connecting through the clasp and the other side. So that would hold our clasp straight. And you don't want to get any beads cut up. So right now, we have our thread, it's coming from this side of this bead connecting through the clasp. So we are going to sew on this direction. So when we are doing that, our clasp, you see, it stands up because it's holding from each side of these beads. So we are going to reinforce by just sewing through the clasp, sewing through the 8/0, sewing back to the clasp, and right now sewing back through the 11. You're just gonna continue reinforcing, and if you are happy with that, you are done. You just need to add the clasp on this side, same way, and then you'll be done with your bracelet. But in this case, I want to do something else. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to reinforce 2 or 3 times. So go ahead and do that because I want my clasps to be really secure. So this should be good. So what I'm going to do right now, we are going to pick up 2 lilac beads. Our thread is exiting from this bead right here. We are going to sew back through the same bead. So now we are going to sew through the bead, this next bead, and then we are going to sew through the next bead, going up. So right now we got these 2 beads that we add, and we are exiting out. Oops, I sew through the threads. I don't want to sew through the threads. I want to be exiting out of this bead. Right here, we are going to pick up 2 lilac again, and at this point you can choose any color you want. Our thread it's exiting from this side. We are going to sew through the same bead again. So right now we have same thing as here. So our next bead is this right here, the one that the clasp is attached to. So we are going to sew through that bead. And right here, we are going to sew through the next 8-0. Like that. We are going to pick up 2 lilac beads. And we are going to sew through the same bead our thread is exiting from. So right now, we are going to sew through the next bead under those 2 beads that were stacking up. 1 second. We are going to sew up through the next purple bead. We are going to sew up through the one of the 2 beads that we add. We are going to pick up 2, and it doesn't matter if you change the color. Our thread is exiting from this bead. We are going to sew through the next one coming down. So right here, these are other 2 beads. We are going to pick up 1, 8-0, and we are going to sew through the next 8-0, and that is used to cover the space that we have in here. We are going to sew up through the one of the beads. We are going to pick up 2 11-0s. Our thread is exiting from this bead. We are going to sew through the next bead. So right here, we are going to sew through the previous white bead that we add, so we can connect them. We are going to sew up through these 2 beads, down through the 2 beads, we are going to pick up 1 8-0, and we are going to sew up through the lilac out of the 2 that we have right here. We are going to pick up 2 beads, and we are going to come down through this bead. We are going to grab 1 8-0, and we are going to sew up through these 2 beads. And this is what you should have. I think this should be good, but if you feel that you need to add more, let's add 1 more row and let's see what happens. So we are going to add 2 lilacs, and we are going to sew down through the 2. We are going to sew through this white one and up through the 2. We are going to pick up 2 lilacs, we are going to sew down through these two. And you don't have to make this step. Like I said, I show you how I'm finishing my jewelry. You can finish yours the way you want to. Sew through the white and up through the two. Pick up two. Sew down through these two. And right here we are going to sew through the 8 and up through the 3 beads. And at this point you can reinforce, you can make sure you like it. I will definitely reinforce and make it so it's stiff. At this point I don't want to keep doing anything else because I actually want my clasp to show. So this is just really an accent. The other thing we can do, we can try to make this more stiff, and that's just a way of finish it. So let me see what I can do right here, because I got a lot of thread. So we can pick up one and then sew through the 3. So I think this really gives another look. So let's go ahead and do the other side, and I'll be right back to show you the finished product. Okay, so we should be done with our bracelet. We just need to reinforce, but I just wanted to show you how this little bead cap looks really nice, and I think it makes the bracelet looks different. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it was easy to follow along. If you like my videos, please subscribe to the channel. I'm close to get to 50,000 subscribers. If you have something in mind that you would like me to do, like do you need help with any type of stitch or any project that you're working on? Also, would you guys like me to make like a kit with beads to send out as a giveaway for my 50,000 subscribers? Would you like $50 Amazon gift card? Just let me know what would you prefer so we can celebrate on my 50,000 subscribers. Until next time, thank you.